the time.
Forever? Tangent. Old.
Halt.
Hashtag always MGM.
You are approaching the unloading area.
Calm down. AK haters.
But what if it could?
Behold, the majesty of the Sistine ceiling.
For the kids.
A salute to all theme parks, but mostly Walt Disney World.
What a cute ending.
Aloha and
Don't Dillo it.
This is Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz. She is Jen.
Hello.
And I am Frank, and we are here for the conclusion
What?
of Jen's trip report. And it might be like a spin-off series that happens. But the past 3 weeks, we have been reviewing Jen's trip as it pertains to her 3-day, 3-park ticket that she utilized in the month of July.
What month is it now? Okay.
It's
all right.
August, I think. I believe it is August as we're recording, and August as this episode is dropping. So 1 day was for Epcot, 1 day was for hashtag always MGM, and part of an episode was for Animal Kingdom. So those have been the last 3 episodes, if you want to go back and review all the things that Jen did in the Walt Disney World theme parks during the month of July. Today we're kind of wrapping up here. We'll have a guest on the tail end of this episode, but we're busy recording episodes here in early August as we lead up to the big 400th episode that we have lots and lots planned for on September the 4th. That will drop in the audio feed on September the 4th. Who knows when we're recording it? We don't really have plans.
What? You just
have
said we have
ideas.
plans. What?
We have concepts.
Yeah.
But no plans.
There's nothing.
There's nothing currently on the table for the 400th episode. But episode 399, we'll have a great interview with Neil O'Brien, the author of After Disney. Make sure you check that out in 3 weeks' time of this audio drop. The last Thursday in August of 2025 is when you can hear that episode. But for this, as I said, we're wrapping up Jen's trip report. First thing I think we want to tackle here is you stayed at the All-Star Sports Resort.
I did.
Which the 11-year-old was waiting for.
Yes.
Even though secretly we stayed there for one night in March to go to Jelly Rolls.
Correct. And he has also stayed there, but he was pretty small, so he doesn't remember it much. But yes.
And would you say, because you did it's not the fallback, it's the bounce back it's called.
It's the bounce back. Yes, you like to call it the fallback.
We've been doing this podcast for 7 years.
Yeah.
How long has the bounce back been around? I never heard of this until Jeffers started doing it.
I think Jeffers would have to let us know how long it's been around, because I don't know either.
Shockingly, Disney does not promote such things. I don't think.
Right.
Maybe they promote it in Canada. I don't understand it.
Oh, maybe. Maybe it was just a Canadian thing, eh?
But regardless, you did this on a bounce back. Bounce back from your January trip.
Forever?
Jen, we've talked about Pop Century and some of the maybe structural work that needs to be done there. I think we saw a little bit of that at Sports in March when we were there for a night. You know, it's basically 30 years, a little over 30 years for both music and sports at this point. I think the first time I stayed in music was 30 years ago this September when I went to Traditions.
That's crazy.
Where are you sitting with the All-Stars these days?
I'll go into that. I just want to go back to your bounce back. Jeffers says it's been around forever, and they do promote it. It's in on a card in your room. Lewis is saying, long time. We used to use it when we were still doing regular trips, and that was at least 10 years ago.
Clearly,
That
Great.
checks out. There is nothing off-brand about us just learning about something in the last year that has been around forever.
But nobody talks about this.
Jeffers talks about it.
Well, he talks about it in the last year. We've known Jeffers for over 5 years now.
Jeffers, when was the first time you mentioned it on the Parks and the Parks and Monorails? Probably. We just missed it.
I mean, listen, I know there was a period where we were both getting resort discounts,
Yeah.
but I don't recall ever seeing anything anywhere.
We're not paying attention to the stuff in the room. But to answer your question, so, to me, it's crazy that the All-Stars are that old. All the value resorts to me still seem new, even though they're not, and have been refurbished and have gone through things. And as you say that, it's been 30 years. I'm like, oh yeah, I was staying there in the early 2000s when I started taking like trips with friends or whatever. And like, so that makes sense. But to me, each level of resort feels right to me. So like values feel like values, moderates kind of also feel like values, and then deluxes feel different. So and I know that's kind of unfair to say. I haven't stayed at a moderate in a very long time. The way the 11-year-old is planning the Disney trips until they graduate high school, I guess I will be again. But to me, I stopped staying at moderates because I used to do Coronado a lot. I had stopped because I started to feel like I didn't necessarily feel that big of a difference between a moderate and a value. Now, when you add in the Skyliner to Pop and Art of Animation, look at those prices skyrocket. But for the hotels themselves, do I think they are sometimes worth $100 more than like All-Stars? I do not. But that's me personally, and we all know I'm not the biggest fan of the Skyliner, but I also understand it's a form of transportation, and I get why it's going to be more. It's just hard for me to think of paying $260 for Pop as I see it. So that's hard for me to do, knowing that I can get All-Stars for a lot less. So that part is tricky. We enjoyed our stay at All-Star Sports. I think it's funny because we were in the tennis section. So like of all the sports the 11-year-old is into, we ended up in tennis, which he doesn't not like tennis. It's just not like one of his favorites. So it was just funny to be in that building. They've been refurbished, so that's fine. The walls are still thin in the All-Star resorts, and we didn't fully experience that until like the last day and a half of the trip, where I think people moved in next door on the adjoining side, and there was some running up and down of the halls that was happening. And so things like that, we're like, ooh, these walls are so thin. I mean, in the morning, I'm like, I hear your full conversation next door. Are you standing right by the door and like talking into it? But, so that is a downside for sure.
Yeah.
But there were groups there because All-Star Sports also known for the cheerleading groups, the sporting groups that are in for different leagues or whatever's going on. But, they all seemed fine. We didn't, weren't bothered by them or anything like that. The pools were great. So to me, I would totally save money and stay at the All-Stars, especially with the kids in the stages they are, and stay at All-Star for way less than I would personally for like a Pop or Art of Animation.
Yeah, I think and we've said this maybe in a couple of different ways in the history of this podcast, that the renovation of the All-Star rooms really changed the dynamic, I think, where the interior of the rooms was just not the best for a very long time.
Yes.
And so you could, for me, the justification of that $100 or more or whatever was in that the quality of the room. Enough. So the renovation of the rooms definitely makes a difference, especially if you're planning a trip where you don't plan to have much time at the resort, or you're definitely like pool time. You can debate, if you think you're gonna like solidly do a pool afternoon, maybe you want to have that conversation about let's stay somewhere where there's a nicer pool, but because it's crowded at the All-Star. But if you're doing a November trip like we are for our meetup on November 7th and 8th for the Very Merry Christmas Party and for Jollywood Nights, come hang out with us. I don't know if it would take that jump either. And what are we talking about at that point? We're talking about Port Orleans, we're talking about Riverside, we're talking about Coronado, and Lewis is saying Coronado is a cut above, and I get it, but it is still too far. It's not Animal Kingdom far, and it's not like, oh, what do you mean the All Stars is much further than Coronado for what it is and what the price point is.
Yeah.
It's just sitting there in the middle of nowhere. I've never quite understood why there's not even a Skyliner from Coronado to at this point there should be a Skyliner from Coronado, from Boardwalk to Coronado to Animal Kingdom. That's how it should have been anyway. Where I think now that Boardwalk is trying to figure out what their identity looks like, Coronado to Boardwalk does not make much sense, but it does if you're going to Epcot.
Yeah.
So why is Coronado then not connected in both directions? That should be the perk of Coronado at that point to me. And I think it's a lovely. I haven't been there in a long time, and the tower is lovely. I've seen all the things, but to me, it just sits there on an island. It's not on an island, but you know what I'm saying.
I want to go to Lewis's comment too, saying All Stars are not pop animation /
Pop
animation.
animation. Yeah.
I mean, this is a debate we can have aside from the Skyliner. And maybe I'll remove Art of Animation just because it's a little bit newer. Pop and All Stars. Lewis, do you find that big of a difference between them as the resort itself, not the Skyliner option, just the resort? Do you find that big of a difference between both of those? I would like to know. And Riviera Contemporary, Poly don't feel like the same level as Old Key West, Saratoga, and Animal Kingdom feels like a class in the area of Fort Wilderness. The cabins are really different. Yeah, and that's it too, right? I mean, the everyone's talking about this in the chat now. The levels of value, moderate, deluxe are also getting a little bit tricky of what really feels like what and how different they can feel within the level, because Coronado Tower probably feels a lot different than Riverside. And, like there's going to be difference there too. Okay, Lewis saying the resort itself is very nice compared to the other Monterey's Port Orleans Special. Oh, that's the other one. I think we're still probably on the delay there. But I will say that on the first day, they were handing out cold towels by the pool at All Star Sports. I've never seen that at any Disney resort. They're probably doing it now. It's probably like a newer thing. Or maybe they've been doing it forever. But personally, I was like, passing out cold towels? We're at All Star Sports?
Right.
Okay, this is fancy. But yeah.
And I think that I've only stayed at Art of Animation once. I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning both days, Galaxy's Edge opening day. And the next day, Justin Monorail just said on the Monday Morning Monorail podcast, again recently, the size of the Little Mermaid room that myself, Justin Monorail, and Landon were in, there should be a Hallmark movie for that. But the exterior of the buildings and the detail of those areas are of a higher quality. Do I think that the rooms themselves are, and especially the 2 times I've stayed at Pop now the last 2 years, do I think that that's better than the All Stars? That much better, aside from the Skyliner. Again, quantifying the Skyliner, that costs something. But overall, Mrs. Dillo, she makes the argument, which I can't believe she makes the argument, is that she wants more Disney in her hotels. And, she's saying on Disney Prime, she wants Disney in the hotels. And she is just as satisfied with All-Star movies, especially, as she definitely would be with Pop. She would like, why are we staying at Pop when All-Star movies is exactly the same for $80? There's no doubt in my mind she would say that. If I split a stay between those 2 resorts, there's no way she would say, why did we stay at Pop when All-Star Movies is more Disney-fied?
Right. Yeah.
That's the one that hangs me up is Pop, and it's the Skyliner.
I do feel like we could probably have an entire episode debating all the resorts within all the levels. So we might have to table this one for now and maybe take it over to the Discord that's attached to dillosdizresort.com
That's true.
and continue this conversation.
You were in. When was the last time you were in Disney Springs? You were in Disney Springs on this trip. Have you been doing visits when you've been doing the family trips?
Yeah.
Because the two of us have not been in Disney Springs in a while together.
Yes. So 2021, definitely there. I think I was there more than once. And that was when we drove down. So I was kind of in Orlando for an extended period of time.
Mm-hmm.
But we had met up with I had met up with people there beforehand, like Theme Park Rob. And then I was also there with the family. I'm trying to think if I was there in 2022. I kind of feel like I was. And then I guess I hadn't been probably since 2022. Yeah, it's weird that we haven't been there.
Right.
The last time we were there, maybe 2020 together?
Yeah.
Is that when we went to Hangar Bar with Drunk Stormtrooper?
Probably. I think.
Or
Yeah,
have we been since then?
Yeah, I'm trying. The two of us. It might
Yeah.
be 2020, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But probably the last time I was at Disney Springs, I have to think about it. But I say this as a lead-in, also talking about our moderate resort conversation, because in my case, I also took the boat trip between Port Orleans and Disney Springs, as you did this time. Was that your first time on the river?
Yes.
There?
In forever. No, but it was the first time that I ever did it. Right. And we were, first of all, we were in Disney Springs on a Saturday night. Who told us to do that? Who told us to go to make our Disney Springs time a Saturday night? We're like, wow, it hasn't felt crowded on this trip, and now it does because everybody is in Disney Springs. Wow. And the line to get on the boat, very long as well. Wow. So everybody's doing it. And you know where else they were all going? To get beignets on a Saturday night. That line was out into the lobby. So everyone had the same idea.
We can't get our Gideon's Bakery cookies.
Yeah.
Let's get some beignets.
Exactly. But it was a nice little trip to do. I did take some video I'll have to put up. I didn't do the entire boat ride, but I did do a good chunk of it. But it was nice because I was like, oh, I haven't really floated on these waters before and taken the trip over here. So there was a moment where we thought about switching the plan because the line had been long. And the boats are not very large, so, there's not a lot of people getting on them.
Yeah.
At one point, there was an announcement that, there were 2 boats coming in. The first one we will not be getting on, but the second one we will. But it could be another 20, 25 minutes. And I was like, oh, God, we rented a car. It's here. So, luckily, though, I don't know what happened. Some switch must have happened because then we were on, the boat came and we were on fairly quickly after that. But yes, it was the first time that was my experience.
Jeffers pointing out we haven't been saying official names of things regarding this trip report because we're turning into Papadillo, both of us, and we don't want to do malaprops. Yeah. But if Jeffers I actually know the name of the river cruise, but if you thought I was going to try Sasagula,
I'm not pronouncing
my Long
that.
Island accent, get out of here.
Absolutely not. I know what it's called. I'm not calling it anything. I'm not saying that. I don't know.
Yeah, no we went on the boat.
I'm on the boat on the water by Disney Springs.
What do you want to do? You want to take the boat?
But yes, so that night we had, so that was our final night in Disney that we did that. And we ate at the boathouse and then we took the boat over to French Quarter for beignets for dessert. So that was the plan there.
Boathouse, since it's been a long time since I've been there, since 2018, right before we started this podcast, family trip. Were you able to land a boathouse with the 60-day ADR, or did you play the game and land on it?
60-day ADR? Who does that? Not me. I am doing things last minute.
You didn't have. Well, but you had the bounce back, the fallback.
Yeah, but I wasn't actually at 60 days. I was like, I don't know if I'm going, so I didn't even.
Yeah, you still didn't just in case. Let me book some resis.
No, absolutely not. That's something we got probably the week before that popped up. Yeah, so we did that, and we had been, the last time we were there was in 2021, and we had gone for brunch because at that point we were like, ooh, Boathouse for brunch is the big thing, and that's what we got to do. And we absolutely loved it. We didn't not love it this time. There were just some differences because one, we were seated at a high top in the bar area, which we had never been in that area before. And it's just a different vibe and feel over there.
Right.
Two, the kids weren't like that thrilled with their meals, I guess. And again, nothing's bad. We'll be back. We just might not go on the next trip or two or whatever. But it ended up out of the entire trip not being on the top of our list, which we were surprised by because we really thought it was going to be because we absolutely loved it for brunch a few years ago. Also, we were having dinner, so maybe just the different menu felt it. I don't know what it was. Again, it was good. It just wasn't at the top of our list this time. Or something.
Okay, 3 was when the wait staff was exactly the same as Alan Compass. You were concerned. No, I'm just
No.
All right. Yeah, no, I definitely haven't been there since New Year's night well, not New Year's Eve, but New Year's Day night for dinner in 2018 was the last time. I was there.
Yeah, but yeah, it had been a while, but yeah, I think also considering where we ate throughout the trip, which I can do a quick rundown of before we get to our final thing we'll talk about here. But let's see, Boathouse, so that was the last night. I'm trying to go. If we go back to the very first night, the night of Typhoon Lagoon, I was over spending a lot of time in the Animal Kingdom area and went to Animal Kingdom Lodge and went to Sanaa. Just totally blanked on that for a second. Went over to Sanaa. I haven't been in Sanaa probably...
Since you picked up to go.
Since I picked up to go. That's true. So March was the last time I was there. Before that, though, I know the kids were little and maybe it was 2018 because I also know that they both tried shrimp there and they loved it and I was able to feed them shrimp for a while. So that was very exciting to me. But I want to say that was probably 2018. So it's been a while since I had been... No, I guess it was, but maybe it was September 2018 or something because I know we were there in January 2018.
Right.
But they were a little bit bigger, and they didn't go in 2019, and then some time passed. So I don't know. What is time anymore? But anyway, it had been a while, and, I love Sanaa. It holds the Animal Kingdom Lodge, always good to be in. It's just good vibes. You get to watch the animals. The bread service, I appreciate that they have a gluten-free version, so I can still have all the sauces and the things. Did I write down what I had? I didn't.
No.
But it was delicious. I feel like, and we had some friends with us at dinner that night, so like everyone enjoyed their meal. Everyone liked it a lot. We were checking out the giraffes after, and the cast member there was telling us all about them, and we were learning things, and so like all in all, a great night there. So that was a good way to start off.
I know I'm gonna bounce out of order because I'm gonna remember things now that you were at the Roundup Rodeo on your hashtag always MGM. The last time we were there, September 23rd, not 23rd, but September 2023.
Yeah.
Or it was September. What day was that? Was that going to be September 9th because it was Mama and Papa Dillo's anniversary and Justin Monorail's birthday on that day, September 9th, 2023, where our lunch was very lengthy at the Rodeo Roundup, so much so that I know that everyone in our family will enjoy it in the future, but I have trauma from the amount of time it took to eat lunch there.
Yeah.
Jen?
So I knew that I wanted to clock it. Well, I had been hesitating to eat there because I wasn't sure if the kids would eat anything, and that was my worry. Like, the 8-year-old loves mac and cheese. Will she like this mac and cheese? The 11-year-old likes sausage. Will he like this sausage? I don't know how it's going to go. But also, like, the ambiance that is, I'm like, but I want them to be in there and check it out.
Yeah.
All right. So I made the reservation for Roundup Rodeo, and they loved it. And this was their favorite meal of the entire trip. So they loved the watermelon. They loved the tater tots. They loved the 8-year-old loved the mac and cheese. The 11-year-old loved the sausage. We were good. I can eat pretty much almost everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fabulous experience. We got to see the Andes coming twice, which I believe happens probably every half hour or so. They loved the food. They loved the restaurant. They're like, why can't this restaurant be something we can go to every day while we're in Disney? And we want to go back next time and all the things. I will have at the end of this episode, they would not stop talking about it once we left. We were walking, so I was finally like, here, you need to be recording everything you're saying, and I'll just play it when I do the recap. So at the end of this episode, I'll play. I don't even remember what they said at this point, but I'll just play it at the end of the episode so you can hear their recap, because they were obsessed with their rodeo roundup. Roundup rodeo? Rodeo roundup. You know.
Lewis pointing out that no, that's not the one I was looking for.
Oh,
but I'm still learning on Riverside. This is the one I'm looking for. We got to do the Andy thing 34 times in 2023, I think.
That is true, which is why I finally recorded one of them, because I was like, I know I'm cheating, but I want to record this.
Between Lewis and Val and Theme Park Rob, the 5 of us have spent a combination of 3.5 days in Roundup Rodeo and Allen Compass. Just saying.
This is true. That's very true. Yeah, I'm trying to think. So it'll be good to hear their POVs at the end here. I was also trying to think if I was missing any kind of breakfast. I don't think we made any kind of dining for breakfast. We kept it pretty simple with like grabbing things either in the park or at All Star. We typically had lunch back at All Star every day as part of our break, where we would eat and then go in the pool. So yeah, so we kind of...
This is also the big difference between when we would talk about these things when they were 3 and 4 and 2 and now.
Yeah.
Because that's in Disneyland, we grabbed and went to every day except the final day. And I was like, well, isn't life grand that we can just...
Yeah.
We know you can eat this one thing and you can walk and do it at the same time. It's glorious.
Exactly. Yep. And I will, one thing I will say before we go to a special guest that we'll bring on for the end of this episode is that on the last morning, and literally this is how the Dillo planning happens. We were flying out of Tampa on Sunday. Our flight was not until Sunday night. We literally had no plan or no idea what we were doing all of Sunday, because Saturday was our resort day and Disney Springs night. Sunday, we had no idea, but we were like, cool, we can take our time getting checked out. But we were packing up and doing all the sad things in the room, saying goodbye. We literally were standing there with our luggage. And probably 15 minutes before that, we said, well, maybe we'll go over to Boardwalk. We haven't been over to that area. We'll go to the Boardwalk Deli. And, we'll do that experience, because we didn't do that this whole trip. And then, as we're sitting there with our luggage, getting ready to roll it out, I go, should we do a Dole Whip after we go to Boardwalk and go over there? And Mr. Snidillo said, will they let us in if we don't have a reservation, or are they going to make us park in Magic Kingdom? And I was like, I don't know, but also we have time. He's like, should I just see if there's a Kona reservation? Standing there with our luggage before we open the door to exit. He's on his phone. Yeah, there's a Kona reservation in about an hour. Oh, okay, let's book it. And we book that.
All right, just book it.
So book it, so do it. What's the difference? And we rolled out and went over to the Polynesian for our Kona breakfast. I recalled that our friends Tom and Michelle were staying at the Polynesian this weekend.
Yes.
But I also knew they were checking out on this day. So I texted Tom and I was like, hey, are you guys still here, or are you already on your way back home? He's like, yeah, we're by the pool. Come say hello. And I was like, okay, well, we just got here. We got into our breakfast. I'll let you know when we're out to see if we can line up. So we had a delicious breakfast at Kona. Mr. Steindillo got the Tonga toast. I got gluten-free Tonga toast.
Oh.
What? Yes, thank you. Which are basically the gluten-free rolls at Kona, but made into Tonga. I'll take it. That's fine. So I had that, and after that, we were able to go say hi to Tom and Michelle at the pool and spend a few minutes with them. We then hopped on the monorail, did a loop around the Magic Kingdom since we hadn't seen it, said hello to that, got off the monorail at Transportation and Ticket Center, changed to Jamaica, and then went over to the Epcot monorail, did a loop around Epcot,
Nice.
and then came back, had a Dole Whip, and then headed to Tampa because we were having like a dinner with our friends there before the airport.
I mean, we've been learning over these years of how to manipulate the Polynesian into our life.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's it. If you can get that last day reservation, you can do the Dole Whip, you can hit the monorail if you want. Depending on when your flight is, maybe you rope drop Trader Sam's. You could. Yeah. You don't know how much luck you can hit.
That's true.
By just doing something over at the Polynesian. And
it was
maybe
pretty
someday
good.
when they say nobody's ever getting on this site again unless they have a hotel reservation, sure, maybe that'll happen someday.
Yeah.
But
it better not Disney.
Yeah.
No, it was glorious, and we were like, wow, we just like had a whole other day basically here. So that was great. But there were 2 other things I have not discussed yet, and for that, we need a very special guest who might be in our not so green room. Special guest.
Reveal yourself at this time. The first guest ever in our Riverside experiment. It's Jeffers.
Aloha.
Hi, Jeffers.
How are you guys tonight?
Aloha. That's a great lei you're wearing for the occasion.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Picked it up on our trip.
Thanks for being here.
Hey, no problem. I'm going to mute a lot tonight.
Jeffers is in between. He's in between trips right now.
I mean, you're always in between trips. Right?
Good point. That's the way to look at things. That's the way to look at life, basically.
That's right.
Yeah. Jeffers, thanks for being our guest on the last portion of my trip report, because there are 2 experiences I have not discussed yet. And so Jeffers and I had overlapping trips. Maybe we'll hear more about Jeffers' trip. I don't know. But we had overlapping trips, and we didn't really know how they would go. And one day Jeffers was like, hey, I got these Kona reservations. They're for 8 people. Just in case anyone wanted to join me, a family of 4 perhaps.
I had them on a couple different nights, just...
I have 10 options. No.
Just to make sure, No pressure. No pressure.
No
It's
pressure.
totally up to you. We're free.
So then I felt so much pressure, and I was like, fine, Jeffers, I'll make this work somehow. JK. So on the luckily, our first day in the parks was Animal Kingdom. We were done by 12:45, had time for a little reset back at the resort, and we were able to go over to the Polynesian for a dinner with the family that is Jeffers, the family Jeffers family. Yeah.
Yep, it's pretty good.
And that was fantastic.
Yeah,
pretty good.
It was our resort day. We took for our first full day at the Poly was a resort day, and I made the reservation there for 8 just in case, and because they don't, you can change it later. If you only show up with 4, that's fine. They don't mind. But yeah, so yeah, it was good. It was good. They came over. They brought the rain with them. The first real rain we saw for the entire trip happened to be the 2-minute walk that we needed to make from our room to the great ceremonial house, and it absolutely poured. We wore ponchos over, so that's how hard it was raining.
Yeah, from my POV of that rain, I don't think I've ever been in traffic on Disney property, and going from All Star to what do you turn on? World Drive? What is
World
that?
Drive,
right? That took forever. We were backed up in pouring rain. And I don't know if it was everyone leaving Blizzard Beach. It was also everyone going to, where did we learn all the cast members live?
Oh, yeah. Over, not Vista Way. That's my time.
Course.
The new Vista Way.
Do you know what it is, Jeffers?
I can't think of the name of it right now.
Flamingo Crossing?
No.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah, you got it. He nailed it. Thanks,
of
Jeffers.
course you do, Jeffers. So I was like, look at all these people going that way. Now it's like the glass has shattered since we saw that TikTok and Adam has told us about that area. So many cars going that way. So I'm like, I'm actually in traffic. So I'm already texting Jeffers like, we're in traffic. I don't know what's happening. This is unreal. Once we were on World Drive, it was okay until we got to the split to Polynesian and then traffic again. And I can see the Poly and I'm like, we'll get there eventually in this pouring rain. It was like the perfect time for a monsoon, basically.
I just assumed that you guys were doing your classic, are they coming, are they not coming? Will they be here? Is this all a joke?
Yeah, exactly. But we made it. We made it and we had a lovely dinner at Kona, followed by some Dole Whip. The kids enjoyed some Stitch Dole Whip and some hula hooping.
They were allowed to get that? They were allowed to get Stitch Dole Whip?
Listen, I don't force my crazy on the kids.
In a cruel...
I mean, they're born with a little bit of it, with that DNA, but I don't like force it on them.
And we got the cruel text at 7:47 or something like that our table at Trader Sam's was ready, but of course we had the little ones with us, so we could not make it in. So I put in our request for 8 before our Kona reservation, so that was before 5:30, I believe, and we got the text a little over 2 hours later that we could come in, but of course we'd have had 10 minutes.
Adults only, yeah. Lewis is saying, wait, you let? Oh, what Frank said. Yes, Listen, kids want to... there's a Stitch Dole Whip. What am I going to go? No, you can't have that. That would be horrible and cruel.
I mean, but you didn't let them have Dole Whip in Animal Kingdom.
No, absolutely
But Jeffers'
not.
kids are having the Stitch Dole Whip.
Yeah. They did, one of the cast member lifeguards was trying to convince them to have a watermelon Dole Whip at Typhoon Lagoon. And I was like... that sounds great. And they were like, wait, he said we should have it. I'm like, I don't know where that is. So, and then we're passing the sign for it. I'm like, oh yeah, we'll come back to that. No, we're not doing that.
No watermelon.
No. So
there's a ice cream, place, a soft serve place. It's pretty well known up in Saratoga Springs, New York. And every week they got a new Dole Whip flavor. And it's like, stop it.
Stop it. Just stop.
For the record, the 14-year-old prefers the Dole Whip float to the classic Dole Whip. She had both on the trip and is a Dole Whip float fan.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I do think this Stitch Dole Whip, quote unquote, was just soft serve ice cream that tasted like cotton candy. So it's really not Dole Whip.
Need a little cream soda in there. Could have made a Stitch float.
Oh, this is true. So yes, that was that. And then I think I mentioned previously that Jeffers and I were also in #AlwaysMGM on the same day, never saw each other. And then there was another reservation that was made. Now here's how this all went down a little bit. Mr. Dillo and I one day are home before the trip talking about GO82. Like, man, we're not going to get to go. I can't go with the kids. And then he was like, I think he said something like, I bet Jeffers could get a reservation. I'm like, oh, you and Jeffers should go to GO82. And he was like, yeah. So then I text Jeffers. What? I don't even know what I said exactly. Jeffers was all over it and said, how many GO82 reservations were you able to lock in? Because anytime I saw it, there were none available.
Most I had at any one time was 4. I think I had about 7 that I had grabbed and then replaced the times with different timing. But we ended up going with, I think, the very first one I got. So
yes, yeah.
That makes it okay then.
Then it's all fine.
Holding 4 is fine as long as you went with the first one.
Right. So on the Epcot night... Oh, go ahead.
See, the thing about holding multiple reservations at one time is that for people like me who play the game, is when I release one, somebody else picks it up like that, and they feel this like surge of adrenaline, like, I got it. I got the highly competitive. So really I'm doing a service for the dining reservation community.
And we're saying for public record, it's entirely possible Jeffers would have used all 4 reservations. It's not like he is hoarding reservations, True. Everyone.
Correct.
They were all canceled at least the day before.
Allegedly. But I did I did have that nervous feeling that Japan night that both reservations were mine when one was in fact Jeffers. There's a lot happening. Jeffers rode, I should have had Mr. Snidillo come down here for this portion, but Mr. Snidillo rode Guardians of the Galaxy.
He's not coming?
Yeah.
He was going to do all the talking.
Who's going to talk about the biggest part of that night? Hold on. Okay, so Jeffers is on Guardians of the Galaxy leading up to this reservation. He texts Mr. Snidillo. At what time, Jeffers? Do you know the timestamps? No. Basically, heads up, I might be late because I'm only just getting on Guardians now. Mr. Snidillo's like, no problem. It's fine. Jeffers still rolls up exactly on time to this GO82 reservation. Mr. Snidillo's like, how did you do that? You just, that's not a short walk or ride. How did you do? That's Jeffers. He figures it out.
So in all fairness, if we go back to when we were at Teppanyto in Japan, that's when I got the text from Frank saying, go to test track. And literally, we're just finishing up our dinner at that point. And I did the check please to the server. And I said to Mrs. Jeffers, I said, test track might be open. I'm going to take the 14-year-old and we're going to go as fast as we can. So had it not been for Frank's text, we would have probably been a little bit further behind because we hustled to get into test track. But unfortunately, we ran into Jen and fam on the way, who then told us it's not happening. Yeah. But that did put us, a little bit further ahead than we would have been to get to our Guardians lightning lane, because otherwise it would have been touch and go. It probably would have been a few minutes late for that. But also, we did run into Jen on the bridge and talk for 2 or 3 minutes, which then ate into our time that we would have made up. So I was going to get there. Don't worry. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, and as we're saying, and then Jeffers like, okay, all right, are we saying goodbye? Are we saying bye? I won't see you, right? Because I'm going to Geo. I'm like, I'm going to see you, Jeffers. I'll see you later.
It was a panicked goodbye. I'm like, that's it. That's it.
It's over.
I figured you were. I didn't know you guys were staying for the fireworks. I figured you would just take the kids back, and then Jay would make, or Mr. Snidillo would make his way back to the resort on his own somehow. And so I thought that was goodbye, but we had to get to Guardians, so it's like, I don't have time for goodbye. I gotta go because we're gonna be late for Guardians, and then we'll be late for GO82. And it was a very what you need to know all leading up to the GO82 stuff is that it was a very stressful hour. from test track text to rushing out of Teppanyto, leaving half my family behind, quick goodbye on the bridge. If you've ever been in the Guardians of the Galaxy queue, you don't know if you're going to be 10 minutes or 45 minutes, right? And so we got in, I think, at 7:07, I think, something along those lines, into the Guardians, and we had a 7:40 reservation. So maybe it was either 7:07 or 7:17. There was 2 7s in there. And, it's like, okay, we're in the first room. Okay, we're in the second room. Okay, we're in the third room. And then we're finally getting on the ride and off the ride. And actually left the 14-year-old. I said, sit right here, Mummy and the 10-year-old. They were behind us probably 2 or 3 trains because they went on Guardians too. So, but they didn't hustle down to get to test track with us. So they were behind us. So I said, you're going to sit here at the Guardians exit. She has her own phone. I said, text Mommy, tell her where you are. I got to make the reservation. That's another, way that I was on time.
Yeah.
Abandoning my child in Epcot.
Yeah.
She's 14.
She's fine.
Jen used to walk around studios by herself when she was 13.
Yeah.
Well, you were 14 too, probably. You were 14. 96, you were 14.
I think I was. I think I spent an entire day by myself. It's fine. I'm fine. It's the 90s. All right. Jeffers, take us on your GO82 experience.
I was really expecting Mr. Snidillo to be here for that. But, GO82, first of all, I think he would agree that we both felt very underdressed, like very sticky and wet from humidity and sweaty. And maybe this is all just me and my, chaos of getting there finally. So they kind of held us, even though we were right on time and we were at the check-in desk, they kind of held us back for 10, 15 minutes or so before they let us upstairs. We walked upstairs to to get up there, and just some of the most pleasant wait staff that you could ever, so personable. Like, if anybody knows Mr. Snidillo, he's got this incredible personality, and it was like this female version of him, and it was like two of these like most outgoing personalities trying to one up each other, and I just kind of stood there at the side like looking. This was all happening like right at our table, and I'm trying to like, is it rude to sit? I can't sit down because it's rude to sit down. And anyway, that went on for seemingly half an hour, but it's probably 2 or 3 minutes. But a wonderful cast member. And then we, she continued to come back and forth and chat with us, and I guess the best way I could talk about GAO 82 is I can compare it to Ohana, and Ohana has this reputation of trying to like rush people through and like just cram people through, get as many people through as possible. And GAO 82 is the complete opposite experience. It's like from Ash, who I guess you would classify as a hostess, to I believe his name was Sal, was our server. It was like we were the only 2 people in the entire place, which wasn't true. Like the place was packed, but like every time they were with us, the time they took explaining things on the menu, the time they just chatting about where we're from or whatever we talked about, I can't remember. It's a traumatic experience for me. But just this feeling of like just incredible top-notch service. So I couldn't have better things to say about it. It was really, really excellent.
I'm here to say that I'm shocked to learn that Ash, who apparently was the hostess, was a hostess and not your waitress, because the gravity that is Ash since this GO 82 reservation happened felt like, she was there the entire time.
She was there the entire time. She kept coming back over and over. It's probably twice, but it again, like, just for someone like me who doesn't want the limelight and attention in any type of experience, to have this like level of attention and service is to a point where it's almost uncomfortable. But I appreciate that it's actually like not disingenuous, that it's coming from a place of like true desire to provide excellent service. So I have to give props to whoever's running the GO 82 over there.
You got towels upon arrival?
That's right, I forgot about that. We did get towels, just like at a fancy buffet restaurant that we go to here in Kingston. They give you a nice hot towel to clean your hands. And again,
did it have like lemon and lavender though?
It was like a lavender scented. They told us what it was, but I can't. I'll never remember. It's just all blacked out. Just blacked out. The only like memory I have of this thing is like literally sitting, like staring down at my seat, knowing like that's my seat. Like can we just sit down?
Can we just sit
down and order a drink? And then the other thing we'd heard, of course, was like it's a strict, you're here for 45 minutes. Don't try to stick around for the fireworks, and because they have a fireworks dining package thing that they do as well. That's very pricey, and but they actually went
740, right? A 740.
Yeah, 740, and they went out of their way to just be like, you guys got great seats, stick around here. And I was trying to be like, well, no, like, you gotta go, and because I felt like I was like stealing the last night of their vacation and like the fireworks, and just
it was your last night, and your family
left. They're fine. But and we both had a couple drinks, and we had the charcuterie board, which it's funny. I sent a picture of. I asked Jay. I said, "Do you have a picture of the charcuterie board?" Charcuterie. And he sent me that. And then I sent him right back a picture of the one we had at Baseline Tap House, which is basically crackers and 2 hunks of cheese. And say, which one of these you think was better? And now, of course, Baseline Tap House one was priced more appropriately for what you got, but it's a stark like the charcuterie board at GO 82 was just like this beautiful, and it came with a story about Nona's pickles and how it's a secret recipe, and I don't know if any of that's true. It doesn't matter if it's true. It makes a good story. But this is again the level of service that Sal, I think Sal was his name, he was explaining to us, and very full, very 2 people could split this and not feel hungry when they left. So And we each had a couple drinks, and I'm by no means a drink connoisseur. They had special ice that had like the imprint of Spaceship Earth in it, or the geodesic design, which was super cool. And like I said, I'm not a drink connoisseur. I couldn't, but they tasted. Oh my God, where did I go? Oh, that's the menu. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, I had the clarified New York sour, and I had the highbrow Batanga, and I believe Mr. Snidillo had the brown butter old fashioned, and what was the other one? Oh, this peach shrub whiskey smash. And you could tell that, you know, they were made to order. They weren't some pre-mixed drink that they just slopped into a glass and charged $18 for. It was, you know, like I said, I'm not a fine palate of drinks, but very, very tasty. Both of what I had, and he seemed to enjoy his as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I realized, I see. I shared the screen for the first time here
Oh.
on Riverside, and now everything is like, what did you just do? Everyone's fuzzy. Everyone's going in and out. What's happening?
I'm trying to mute a lot because I have the same vacuum cleaner problem, so I'm trying to like mute.
It's not a smoke detector. It's all right.
Chirp.
Chirp. Go ahead.
But
Did
then,
you get so I guess my only question: did you get to stay for the fireworks?
so we did, yeah.
Were you there
They
for-
like really encouraged us. Said it was Mr. Snidillo and I were kind of fighting about it. Like I'm like, no, you should go spend time with your family, and it's like, no, Jen's telling me to stay. Like I'll never. It's like, when are we ever gonna get to watch them from up here? You got the perfect seat. And so we decided at that point we were never gonna find them anyway. So we decided we would stay. And
It's like the content.
and it's a pretty good spot to watch. It's a pretty good spot to watch fireworks from. They dim the lights, and you know the music comes in, and just the ambiance of the like geodesic lights, and you know, it's temperature controlled, which is always nice. It's crowd controlled, which is always nice.
Yeah.
Enjoying a nice beverage, which is always nice. So it's. I don't know that I would go to the. I believe it's $189 per person champagne experience. I don't know that I would do that, but would I take the.
Yeah.
You know, would I take the chance on the 740 res and hope that they let me stay again? I think so. Yeah. I would do that.
That's pretty good.
All right. Well, I think this would be an appropriate time to say we're going to carry over this conversation into next week's episode of Theme Park Thursday, where Jeffers will continue on as a guest, as kind of an epilogue to Jen's trip report, the part where we hear Jeffers' POV for his July trip report. So we will be back again on Theme Park Thursday in 1 week's time. Until that time, that's Jeffers. She's Jen.
Bye.
I'm Frank. And we'll be right back.
So the rating on Rodeo Roundup, it's basically beautiful. The tater tots are sweet and tendery and super good. The potatoes are all cooked. It's beautiful. The sausages are well cut. It's really tendery and spicy, but it's also really good. And also the drinks, they're beautiful. They taste like no other. But the dessert is the main part. You can get some, what is it called? No, not the cupcake. The pie in the cup, and that's really good. That's rating.
It's good.
And then, and also the forky cupcake. It's basically this cupcake with this forky kind of sort of like white chocolate cookie with chocolate literal beauty inside it. That basically tastes exactly like my birthday cake. It's beautiful. Mwah. Thank you for listening to my rating. Well, yeah, I really want to go back every single time. Salute to all theme parks, but mostly Hollywood Studios. Thank you.
Hi, it's the 8-year-old, and I'm going to tell you my rating on Rodeo Roundup 2. My rating is, if it was 1,000 stars out of 1,000, I would give it 1,000. And I love the tater tots, and I love this Slinky Dog mac and cheese. It tastes like mac and cheese still. And when they say Andy's coming, you have to freeze, and it's so fun. It's like a ride while eating. And the dessert is so good. And there's a Forky cupcake, and Forky's head is on it. And there's like Twisters as it like Twizzlers as its like scarf kind of. And it's amazing. You should really go there. And please go there. Bye.
The Dillo's Diz podcast is hosted by Frank Cardillo and Jen Cardillo-Snyder. Music produced by Matt Harvey. Logos and video production courtesy of Snidillo Studios. Dillo's Diz Resort is our Patreon with tiers starting as low as $1 per month. You can visit dillosdizresort.com to learn more. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, X Twitter, and Facebook at Dillo's Diz. Check us out on YouTube by visiting youtube.com/DillosDiz. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you're there. We also have merch available on TeePublic and Etsy. For all this and more, visit our one-stop shop, dillosdiz.com. Dillo's Diz Podcast 2025.